if there is anything that needs to be satirized and remixed, it is Trump talking about massive dumps. And by the way, extra points, if you can sample Trump saying massive dumps and me talking about it in a song, please do it.
Dumps. Big massive dumps. Dumps. Big massive dumps. Dumps.
Dumps. Dumps. Dumps. Dumps. Dumps. Dumps.
Dumps. Dumps.
Dumps. Dumps. Dump. Dumps. Dumps. Dumps.
Dump. Big massive dumps. Dumps.
Dumps. Dumps.
Sir, you just
Dump.
won.
Dumps. Dumps. Dumps.
Dump. Big massive dumps.
Donald Trump insisted multiple times that it was massive dumps that led him to lose the election, which is just
on another level, on another level.
Dumps.
Dumps. Dumps.
Sir, you just
Dump.
won.
Dumps. Dumps. Dumps.
Dump. Big massive dumps. Dumps.
Dumps. Dumps.
Sir, you just
Dump.
won.
Dumps. Dumps. Dumps.
Dump. Big massive dump.
You turn the faucet on in areas where there's tremendous amounts of water, where the water rushes out to sea, because you could have people are flushing toilets 10 times, 15 times, as opposed to once. Quietly tripping.
Dumps.
Dumps. Dumps.
Sir, you just
Dump.
won.
Dumps. Dumps. Dumps.
Dump. Big massive dumps. Dumps.
Dumps. Dumps.
Sir, you're on the cover of Time magazine again.
what is going on here? What is going on here? It's just beyond parody. I mean, massive dumps cost them the election. What is going on here? What is going on here? It's just beyond parody. I mean, massive dumps cost them the election. What is going on here? What is
Dumps. Dumps. Dumps.
Dumps.
dumps that
Dumps.
Dumps. Dumps.
Toilets 10 times.
Dump. Dumps. Dumps. Dumps.
Dumps. Dumps.
Dumps. Dumps.
multiple times?
Dump. Dumps. Dumps. Dumps.
Dumps.
All right, welcome everybody. We have a big announcement on the coronavirus and fighting for vaccination. We have to fight people so that they will get vaccinated. It's crazy, but we're going to hear from President Joe Biden momentarily. My prediction is that Joe Biden just bans the virus today. Just make it illegal and let's move on. You know, why even toy around with it? Declare it a felony and let's just be done with it. You know, I mean, it's like this has been going on long enough. So that's my expectation. We're going to be hearing from Joe Biden in about 15 minutes, and we have a few different things to talk about. I will be looking at super chats. I will be playing some voicemails. I have an unban request to adjudicate. I have a couple of videos. New York City is going to enact a vaccine requirement. If you want to go to restaurants, you're going to have to show proof of vaccination. And yes, people are going to fake their vaccination cards. Of course, it's going to happen. It's already happening, in fact. And I have something very special. Today, I recorded an interview with Mike Pillow. This was my face at the start of the interview. This is for a future episode of the show. I will pre-release a minute of the Mike Pillow interview. I'll just for proof, let me show you. Okay? Just for proof, and he would not stay in the middle of the frame. He kept going off to the side. I will preview 1 minute of this interview for every 10 website members and Twitch subs. If we get to 100, I'll give you the whole interview. Okay, this is for a future show, but I will preview this. It is heretofore unseen, my friends. This is the beginning. Okay, so that. It is absolutely real. Let's see where we are right now. Cryptic just subscribed. Ollie the Savage subscribed. Dranoa gifted 5. Christina subscribed. Catastrophic Failure subscribed. And Gazien subscribed, as well as Aunt Fufu, putting us at 11. So we've earned a minute. Okay, we're already a minute. We have earned a minute of pillow. So let's listen to the first minute. Here we go. Mike, I really appreciate the. Now, by the way, see how he was signaling? He was yelling at people the entire interview. There were moments where I was the only one on screen. He was furious the entire interview with his staff. Okay, so it's already crazy. Opportunity to chat with you today.
Thanks for having me on.
Of course. So listen, you first came to my attention. I first became aware of you at the start of the pandemic. Donald Trump held this event at the White House and announced, here are some business people that are going to be doing things to help us. You were going to be, if I recall correctly, making masks and maybe even some other things. How did you first come to meet Donald Trump and that relationship start?
Well, it was the summer of 2016. He invited me to Trump Tower. It was August 15, 2016. It was a private meeting. I went in there. It was about 35 minutes, just him and I walked out of there, and I come from a past of it.
All right, that's 1 minute. I promised 1 minute, and I would do a minute for every 10 subs. Okay, so that's what we've got so far. Inconsolable Jay Tandaway just gifted 5 each. Elliot Sloan, Thanika, 12. Kinda Gubby gets us up to 17. Oh boy. So now that puts us at 28. That's another minute. Okay. Oh, hold on a second. And also William Brown just signed up on my website with the coupon code MyHIPAA29. All right. So we've got another minute of pillow. Okay. Let's continue.
Addiction and stuff. I didn't think politics affected anything, but I did walk out of his office and said he's going to be the greatest president ever. If he's with all the things we talked about, my pillow being made in the USA. I said I was going to have a platform at which I do, the LindellRecoveryNetwork.org, which helps addicts. And he said, I'm going to stop the drugs pouring in. And we just had this back and forth. And I went to his employees afterwards, and I asked them, I kind of did my due diligence. I'm going, is this real? I mean, the only agenda he had was to help our country and to help people. And that's what and they all said yes.
This is one of the most insane interviews I've ever done, by the way.
Amazing boss, amazing man. And they all had a personal story about him. And then, boy, I got back to Minnesota and I did a press release, and you didn't think I shot someone. They attacked me and called me a racist and called me everything. And all I did was say I had a meeting with Donald Trump that was running for president.
All right, that is the second minute, okay? We're doing a minute of this for each 10 subs. I do want to say thank you to William Brown, who just signed up on my website with the coupon code MyHIPAA, getting us another minute. Also, Ollie the Savage has gifted 5. Nick Lovin is 6. Squeegees is 7. Droops is 8. Mad Satchel is 9. Balkangorm is 10. Putting us at 40. All right, so that's 2 more minutes of pillow. This is crazy. At that event at the White House that I mentioned at the start of the pandemic, you said that Donald Trump was, quote, chosen by God. How did God reveal to you that he had chosen Trump? That's a good question, right?
It was a bunch of divine appointments for me. I had a dream in the spring of 2015 that I'd be meeting Donald Trump, and I'm going, why would I want to meet Donald Trump? And all of a sudden, he's
okay. By the people joining, this has not been released yet. Okay, we're previewing this.
Comes down the escalator running for president. Then I had, in my book, I explain all this. I actually went to the National Prayer Breakfast in early 2016, and when Ben Carson was still running for office, and I was picked out of 12 people out of the whole prayer breakfast with thousands there to pray with Ben Carson in a room, and just these things kept happening to me, and it was like building up, and I'm going, this all has to mean something, and it wouldn't mean that I just end up going golfing with Donald Trump or something. There was so many divine appointments that led up to that. And then it was something different, something that, because I had met him, I just know this all these things that happen. I look at to know that God exists. I use mathematics and say, if you have a 1 in a million happen, or a 1 in a billion, or this thing happens that could never happen, when do you add them together and consider a miracle? And that's what kept happening to me. And he's been picked, he has been chosen for such a time as this.
Wow. So if I hear you correctly, you're saying what others might see as odds and probability, you see as divine appointment.
Absolutely. Because
wow.
if you look at it, and especially when there's more than one, and then there's confirmations of that.
Wow.
You know, here's a guy for me being just an ex-addict from Minnesota, a guy very functioning addict, growing up again. And here I end up in the White House. I'll tell you an example. So I end up.
All right. So that's the 4 minutes that we've gotten so far. We're doing a minute for every 10 subscriptions. Oh man, there may even be more. Hold on a second. Justin Volts just signed up on my website with the code MyHIPAA, and Jacob Steinley just signed up with the code Better21. That puts us at 42. Also via Twitch, Clint Eastwood, Kind AF, Mr. Bonallies, Lucky Auntie Mame have signed up. That's 4, putting us at 46. Okay, so we're not yet at another minute of it, but we're doing 1 minute of pillow interview for every 10 website and Twitch subs. Let me look at some super chats. Brett says, congratulations, sir. Yes, exactly.
Congratulations, sir. You just won the election.
Pear says, damn, I'm already a member. Natural Born Keeler says, hey, David, keep up the good work. Greetings from Kiel, North Germany. Pim Tool says, generally agree, but it's too nuanced and reductive. Christopher Eggett says, I love eating cornbread. Good for you. Chakaseki says, David, make this a regular segment called Pillow Talk with Pacman. David, huge fan. Do you believe Republicans care about the fact that the vaccine is not approved by the CDC? The CDC doesn't approve medication, so I don't know why. I mean, it's just I have no idea. Pim Tool says, we know you will soon release the entire video. It will get many views. Why play these reductive cancel culture on the public square safe harbor? Yes, really hitting all the buzzwords there. Mike versus Jesse Ventura in a cage match. Hi from Ireland. What do you think needs to happen for America's image to be redeemed in the eyes of the rest of the world? Removing Trump was a good part of it. Getting vaccinated would be a good part of it. Thanks to Men Talk, as well as Brian Boyd, who just gifted 2 subs, putting us at 49. Eric Krapf has just signed up with the code MyHIPAA. And Thomas Stebbings just signed up, putting us at 51. Because we got to 50, we are going to look at 1 more minute of the My Pillow interview. We're doing a minute for every 10 subs. This will be released at some point in the future.
White House at a roundtable event. I never thought I could come within 100 yards of the White House with my pass.
I see. I see.
And here I end up in the White House. I said, who's sitting here? And they go, the president is. There's like 15 of us in the room. First time I was ever in the White House, and they do that. We go on national TV. Then it's just him and I facing forward, and it went viral, that screenshot. And all my friends are going, what is this ex-crack addict sitting next to the president of the United States? Jesus is real, because this could not happen.
This makes no sense, right? In other words, it's almost like Mike Lindell, pillow guy, being at the White House makes such little sense. It must be divine intervention.
Absolutely. It's just like when I
spoke
there when I went there, when we did start making masks. I had got a letter from the White House saying, would you come in and
All right, so there is minute number 5. Wow. What an event. So we're standing by for Joe Biden, continuing to stand by. At any point, did you think about referring to him as Mike Pillow? I did actually think of asking him, CEO and inventor of My Pillow, Mike Lindell, is it's so busy. Are you opposed to just being called Mike Pillow? And it just got away from me, quite frankly. Daniel says, is this the most powerful nation in the world? Yeah, I think so. Felix says, would withdrawing all troops from foreign soil improve how the world views the U.S.? Maybe in the short term, although medium and long is more of a question mark, I think. I do have one unban request that I'm going to adjudicate right now with my hammer. Let's see here. A user named ShushiNMH showed up yesterday and said, more COVID hysteria COVID is done. Delta isn't nearly as bad as the original strain. So they're going to have us all wearing diapers on our face and sitting in our houses again while suicides and overdoses skyrocket. Cool. Ban me, I guess. They were banned. And then their unban request is, you people are the problem. That is a permaban for aggressive COVID. Get them out of here. Get them off my stream. Exactly. Too easy. Too easy. Meanwhile, by the way, we'll get back to Pillow in a moment. This is Dr. Catherine O'Neill. I don't know if you guys have seen what's happening in Louisiana. Let me show you. Okay, see that? That's Louisiana. Okay? So that's a problem. That's a real problem in Louisiana. Here is a doctor in Louisiana explaining what's going on.
When I left the hospital earlier, there were 23 patients on the board waiting for a transfer into our hospital for an ICU bed. Those are the ones that I looked at first. There's no reason to even look at the med-surg beds. They're never going to get here. But you look at every single one of those ICU beds and you spend all day trying to figure out how you can staff another one. Those are 23 people sitting in an ER somewhere. Many of those ERs are not attached to a hospital at all. There is only an ER physician. Many of those ERs are attached to a hospital that does not have a critical care doctor or a subspecialty cardiologist or a subspecialty surgeon. You have people with chest pain sitting in an ER right now where their families sit in the waiting room and they are wringing their hands and they're calling everybody they know. Do you know somebody who works at the lake? Can they get me in? Do you know somebody who works at Oxnard? Can they get me in? And they will do that for days. And that patient will lose muscle. They will lose years of their life, but they will stay in that ER because there are no more beds left. Those 23 patients are a glimpse of what we have been doing for the last 2 weeks while we have been trying to get everybody vaccinated. And it's not helping enough because it's not happening fast enough. And when you come inside our walls, it is quite obvious to you that these are the darkest days of this pandemic. We are no longer giving adequate care to patients. That has also stopped. And you heard from each of these physicians that we no longer think we're giving adequate care to anybody because these are the darkest days of the pandemic. How do I get those patients to this hospital? How do I open beds?
So the point is they're running out of room. There's just no room. There's not enough beds. There's too many patients, not enough beds. I mean, look at this. This is Louisiana right now. A very highly infected and lowly vaccinated state.
Vaccination is going to get us there, but it will not get us there fast enough, and we will lose
right.
our
It's too
friends
late.
And our colleagues because of it.
They don't have room now.
But if we put on our masks, as we've done through the last several surges, we will see a decrease in hospitalizations again, and that will give us time for the vaccinated to work. Those who got vaccinated in the last 2 weeks already have protection, and I doubt that I will ever see them in our hospital due to COVID-19. And if you get vaccinated today and you mask up, I doubt that I'll ever see you. Yesterday, I drove down 190, which is one of my favorite drives. And we got to see some rice being cut, which my father's a farmer, so that is one of my favorite scenes. We drove behind some people who were driving motorcycles, and it was the end of the day, so it was tolerable. We drove past some kids who were on their four-wheelers. Looked like they were having a great time. Usually that is an incredibly enjoyable drive, and all I could think about was that I have seen people in four-wheeler accidents and motorcycle accidents and farming accidents in the last 2 weeks who sat in their ERs in their small towns. Those are my people.
Right. Understand, this is such a key point. If you say, I'm not going to get vaccinated, I'm unlikely to get sick with COVID and need help, I don't care, okay? If there are unvaccinated people filling up the ER, if you get into a car accident, there may be no room for you. This is such a critical point. It's such a fundamental point. You have an accident at work and go to the ER. If it's full already with COVID patients, how is that going to affect your treatment, right? It's just an absolutely brilliant point that she makes. And we'll look at maybe doing something with that on the show. That's Louisiana. It's just a disaster there. Disaster. Okay, let's see if we've got another minute of Mike Pillow. I want to say thanks to Matthew Lester for signing up on my website, joinpacman.com, with the coupon code MyHIPAA. And Catherine Cox just signed up on my website with the coupon code MyHIPAA. That's 53. I also want to say thanks to Snowflake Warrior, K. Furkic, Mahaffey Taffy, ODW, Zero Page, Firepre, Instant Classics, Ron is Twitching, Do For UO. That's 9, putting us at 62, which means we've got one more minute of the Mike Pillow interview. We'll go to another minute at 70.
Because we had started making masks. We were one of the first ones, I believe, in the country. And we get there, and he's going to have us all speak from the Rose Garden, and you have to have pre-approved remarks. And if I told you the whole story, I mean, it's just it's divine how everything went down.
That's
Even me
something.
sitting in the front row
Right.
was things that couldn't happen. That was a series of events happened there where I ended up being the only one on stage with him, and then asked him if I could say something off the cuff and flipped this paper over and then spoke out about
I
reading
remember.
our Bibles, getting back in the Word, and it
Yeah.
you know, you to think there. I mean, that was heard around the world. I did 109 interviews in 5 days. It
Well,
was,
Mike,
every
listen.
attack.
There's so many things I want to ask you about. Let me do a few that are sort of like shorter things. One is, I don't know what he was signaling to the entire interviews. He was displeased with something that was going on, and he kept signaling to someone. In terms of states that were given to Joe Biden that you believe Donald Trump won, what is how extensive is that list?
It's huge.
Okay, so now we're at minute number. So we're pausing. That's all we've gotten so far. We will do another minute of this when we get to 70. Oh, wait, we may be close actually already. Nasty Q's just resubbed on Twitch. Man-own Eigenschaft just signed up. Oh, that's 64. Okay. All right, very good. So we got that. News out of New York City. Bill de Blasio will mandate COVID vaccines for certain indoor activities. This is super strong. The order goes into effect August 16 with full enforcement on September 13. De Blasio said the mandate, known as the Key to NYC Pass, would encourage increased immunizations to combat the spread of the Delta coronavirus variant. The mayor's order comes a day after de Blasio mandated vaccines for the city's new hires. So here are the rules. New York City will require proof of vaccination for employees and customers of indoor eateries, gyms, and entertainment centers. This is happening in New York City. It includes gyms. It includes restaurants. It includes presumably all sporting events, Broadway, movie theaters, etc. The city will begin inspecting businesses for compliance in mid-September. All affected customers and workers can either provide their vaccination cards or upload proof to the Excelsior Pass application. The National Restaurant Association issued a statement. It expressed support, but said the mandate would be burdensome and will result in significant changes for restaurants moving forward. Checking vaccination status isn't like IDing a customer before giving them a drink. So anyway, this is going to be a big deal. But New York City is doing it extremely aggressively, and we'll see where that gets them. A few other super chats here. I'm looking for baked goods from the standpoint of tastiness. What level of support would you see as the floor where you stop covering Trump rallies? We're getting pretty close. What's the end game of DeSantis and Abbott type governors? What do you think? Who do you think they will spin it? I guess they mean, how do you think they will spin it once the body bags start piling up? I don't know yet. I genuinely don't know yet. I live in Louisiana. The COVID denial is so bad here. The attorney general is telling people how to avoid the mask mandate. Yeah. Aaron says you have to see Melissa Carone's vaccine comments. Oh, my rocket on Twitter has the video pinned. Let's see. Let's see what's up with that. Here we go.
And just like Stacey said, it's sterilizing people.
Is this really Marissa Carone or is this an actress? I actually can't tell. Does anybody know? I'm realizing I saw this the other day and I thought it was an actress. Is this really Carone? Nobody knows? All right.
If you're around somebody who was vaccinated and in the past 3 weeks,
I
there's
guess
a
it is.
shedding effect. And
I actually don't know if it's really her. I mean, her appearance is so bizarre. It seems different.
it causes sterilization. It causes sterilization in children, young children. It's been shown to lower girls' egg counts, lower boys' sperm counts. It's a proven fact. It's a proven fact. Planned Parenthood is paying people to go door to door and push the vaccines. Why? Why Planned Parenthood? Could it be because...
Is that a wig? I can't even tell what looks different about her than before. Or is it... I don't know. It's. I guess it's really her. Who knows? Okay. All right. Well, that's what's going on there. I want to say thank you to Adam Spivey for signing up on my website with the coupon code MyHIPAA. I also want to say thanks to a user just going by the name Chinese Name. I guess they think I'd have too much trouble pronouncing it. Who signed up with the coupon code Indictment21. Those are numbers 65 and 66. Over on Twitch, Shamillion, Chuck Neasy, Cody John Wayne, Slam Drunk, Head Asso, Stick Eye, P. Villanueva have signed up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, putting us at 73 and getting us one more minute of Pillow Talk with Mike Pillow.
And it's absolutely huge. And not that I believe, I know he won, because we have all the packet captures and the data from the whole election.
We'll get to that.
Minnesota, New Hampshire, all the swing states we talk about, Nevada, Georgia, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
And, I mean, the
Big,
list goes
massive
on and on.
dumps.
It's, there are very few that Biden won, less than 10.
You, at one point, I heard you say you believe Trump even won California. Do you still believe that?
That's correct, and we're going to reveal that at the Cyber Symposium. I'm happy. These are going to be, we actually will have the data to back that up.
What's the math of, just to pick one, Mike, for people to understand? California has 22 million registered voters. 10 million are Democrats, and there's 5 million Republicans. How did Trump win California?
I didn't say he won for sure. We're going to reveal that at the symposium. Let's use Minnesota.
Okay. The Symposium. At the Symposium, he's going to reveal it. All right. So there's another minute there. Yeah. If people, so we'll keep doing a minute for every 10 subs. He did say he won, and then he says, "Well, I don't know about for sure." It's all really, really weird. Let's see here. Oh, hold on a second. Where did Normal Guy go? Normal Guy. Oh. David, sir, will you ever share Spanish content from En Contexto? Well, that was a show just during the election, and I shared some interviews, and the show's been over for many months, so we've probably shared everything we're going to on the YouTube channel. Texas, the surge in cases and working for a public school is a massive pain. 2 weeks till classes start, and board already said no masks. Not to mention Abbott. The dread is real, so sad. It's crazy what's going on in some states. Pim Tool says via Super Chat, the left got too left, so I joined the far right. Sounds weird. Another message from Pim Tool, who says a sad reality is that areas with low rates of vaccination south have the highest rates of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and smoking. Horrible mix. Daniel says, sir, your wife is up in the air. Yes, exactly.
Sir, your wife is up in the air.
Aaron says, it's really Carone. She's running for office in my state. She goes on to say the vaccine makes your eyes glow so they can pupil scan and separate unvaxxed. Wow. Make sinking city pre-natural man-made farm. Don't even know what that means. Trump won California and cats have taken over control of nuclear weapons in the United States. Yeah, it seems unlikely to me. What's the best way to deal with conspiracy nuts without going into an online war of words? This is obviously going out of control. Yeah, I don't know that there's any advantage to engaging with conspiracy nuts in a casual way, like on Facebook and stuff like that. Just doesn't make any sense to me. Makes no sense to me. I want to say thank you to Michelle Schultz, who just signed up at joinpacman.com with the coupon code MyHIPAA. Today, we have a perfect combination of things. We have the coupon code MyHIPAA, which saves you 70%. And we have an interview I did just hours ago with Mike Lindell, which has not been released. The only place where you can see it is I'm playing 1 minute at a time on the show today. So we're 6 memberships away from getting another minute, so to speak. It's all pretty illegal. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Andre Thomas also signed up at joinpacman.com and is new member number 75. Let me play a few voicemails for people. People yesterday really seemed to be liking the voicemails. Let's just play a couple of them. We don't have to go crazy. Here's one.
Hi, David. This is Adam from Connecticut. I know
underwater, guys. I just can't deal with it.
Hi, David. I'm an oral cancer survivor, so I apologize anytime I call. Sometimes I have dry mouth. But I'm Carone from Michigan. Been watching you. Enjoy your show. I like the facts. I have a question. Now that the DOJ is coming out about the truth about Trump and his alleged abuse of the office, is it possible that we can go back and impeach him?
Nah, it's not going to happen. I understand it, but it's not going to happen. Okay. Let's listen to a couple others.
Hello, David. We love listening to you every morning. We record it at night and listen to it in the morning, and you're charismatic. I love the way you talk about everything.
Wow.
We're retired. I'm 74. My wife's 71. And we haven't followed politics till recently, and you've really made that a pleasant thing to listen to.
I appreciate that very, very much.
David, sir, recently we've been seeing a resurgence of clips of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris talking about the skepticism for the vaccine under the Trump administration, and anti-vaxxers are using this as kind of a platform to say, see, it's not just us. I'm wondering if you could compare and contrast these as part of a segment. Love the show. Thank you very much.
Have done it. In fact, have done it. And it's pretty strong. Yeah, we've talked about that quite a bit. Please check out, if you should, just search Kamala vaccine probably on my YouTube channel and you would find it. I think we're going to have ourselves another minute of Mike Pillow. Clinton Peck just signed up at joinpacman.com. Axel Solis just signed up. Cameron Train just signed up. And Jennifer Beltran just signed up, putting us at 79. We then have Jeff Builds a Base, Light Cloud, Snowflake Warrior, Elora Like Noodles, who signed up via Twitch, putting us at 83, giving us an additional minute of Mike Pillow.
My home state. Well, they are losing Minnesota by 100,000 votes. Now, I went around all over, and everyone say, "Oh, Minneapolis," and all. We only have like 2 big cities, Duluth and Minneapolis.
This is when I start to take just a horrified look on my face as just the default.
St. Paul, and it's all Democrats supposedly, right? And all our northern Minnesota Democrats. Well, that's the past, everybody. That ship sailed. Those were traditional Democrats, a lot of them.
Wow.
And Minnesota, the actual number, Minnesota won. Donald Trump won by 65.
People asking why I'm wearing the same shirt. This was recorded 90 minutes ago. It's the same day. I didn't change before the stream.
5,000. And we will show this too at this symposium.
Yeah.
This is facts. These are facts. And how did that happen? Because it doesn't matter where the past, everything changed with Donald Trump. People are voting. I believe people are voting they want politicians that are for the people, that think, and Donald Trump did stuff for all people. If you get to this great place we were in December of 2019, I think everyone, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, realizes that those.
All right. So we're doing a minute at a time. This is my interview with Mike Pillow. This took place just a couple, hour and a half ago. Every 10 subs, we are releasing another minute. I want to say thanks to Nathan Schenken, who just signed up at joinpacman.com with the coupon code MyHIPAA. Very exciting. Yeah, my approach in the Pillow interview was to pretend to be taking him seriously. And it took a while for him to realize I don't believe a thing he's saying. And at the end of the interview, he eventually says that he recognizes that I mocked something he said. But we played it very straight with them. And I don't know that he necessarily knew my perspective on things. Thanks to Angie Lowe and Rhino Inverse for the Twitch subs, putting us at 86. We'll do another minute of this when we get to 90, and that may be happening soon. It may not. Mike Pillow should be illegal. He is a political weapon of mass destruction. Yes. Slow down sinking cities' land we can manipulate into farms that be underwater. Okay. Spencer Smith says, sorry, joined late. Why did he agree to the interview? I have no idea. I don't know. Will you be attending President Obama's 60th birthday party? Will you bring a gift? Yes, I am going to the Obama birthday party in Edgartown on Martha's Vineyard. Beautiful. Love Martha's Vineyard. I will be I'll take the Chappie Ferry over and back and then go over to Edgartown. And I'll probably bring flan, honestly, flan with dulce de leche, just something nice and Argentinian. Haley says, despite the constant negative press, Cobb Fefe, these people will tell you the vaccine is useless Jewish conspiracy over a fried pork chop sandwich and their 4 lunch beers to stave off the shakes. Yeah, that's aggressive. David, I think you missed my super chat. Psaki said a Cuomo statement is incoming today. What do you think it will be? No idea at all. No idea whatsoever. Couldn't tell you. I feel like I'm going to see the governors of must be Texas and Florida, on an episode of Scooby-Doo as the Dastardly Duo. That very well may be. Thanks to Juan Wick as well as Iryman, Slim Schneindy gave out 5 subs. That's 7. And Kicky Fast signed up. That's number 8, putting us at 94. And 94 gets us a 9th minute of Pillow.
Those things, that month, that was a manifestation of a couple years of decisions being made by politicians, i.e. Donald Trump. And that by me, and those common sense decisions that made, here's a problem, here's a solution, how will it help people, all people, not just their party or a personal agenda. And that's what, and we've seen that. It was just awesome that everyone in this country got to experience that, what political decisions could manifest to. And man, everything was great. We had highest consumer confidence, lowest gas prices, lowest unemployment. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
Stock market high. I mean, across the board. Those were because of political decisions, everybody.
I want to focus in on the election piece just so we kind of keep that path forward. There are some, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who, while she believes there were problems with the election, she says Trump is not coming back. Yeah, okay, so I actually get into that and I start challenging him a little bit. I slowly went into sort of telling him what he's saying isn't making any sense. So we start to get into that. You know, the thing I didn't ask, and I actually regret this. I see somebody put something about bamboo fibers. As we were going, I was trying to think of a way to crowbar in. You know, Mike, a lot of different people are focusing on different aspects, like, for example, bamboo fibers in Arizona. Do you think that bamboo fibers, various sauces and condiments on ballots, is any of it indicative of anything relevant to who won the election? I just wasn't able to squeeze it in. There was no sensible way, but I wanted to do that. David Villar says, isn't the fraud it designed to help Trump raise money while he dangles the results like Jesus' second coming? Yeah, essentially. I want to say thank you to Amber Hussein for signing up with the coupon code MyHIPAA on my website. Also, Simon Dreyfus just signed up. New members number 95 and 96. Very much appreciate that. Putting us at 96, and we will have another minute of the Mike Pillow interview when we get to 100. Did you ask about elements of voting machines? I straight up asked him if he has voting machines in his possession, and he did answer. That comes up later in the interview. Do you think Justice Dems threatening to blow up the infrastructure bill due to cutting key parts will result in blaming progressives over a better bill? I had no idea. I haven't heard anything. It's been years since I've even heard the term Justice Democrats. Can somebody explain what they're doing? What are and Justice Democrats as an organization? Yeah, I just don't know. Diva says even mild COVID can infections have caused permanent erectile dysfunction and compromised testosterone levels in males of all ages. This data could be used to raise NPI vaccination rates in stubborn men. Sure. Whatever. I think that's great. Any way we can convince them. Thanks to Professor X for signing up via Twitch Prime, number 97. Let's listen to a few more voicemails because they are, they're coming in fast and furious.
Yeah, this is David. I don't know what happened. I couldn't watch your last stream, but I'm getting this. So yeah, I'm sorry for the message. I didn't drink. I quit drinking a couple of weeks ago, and then my landlord told us that we got to find places to live because he's selling. Because I mean, I live on the west side of Chicago, so everything's gentrified. Everything's going up. You know what I mean? Everyone they're buying up all the properties and putting all these nice ass apartment complexes up and shit. But yeah, all the poor people are getting fucked now, right? Excuse my language.
Okay, so there's that.
Hello, David Packman. My name is Andrew. I'm from Southwest Missouri. We're actually kind of a pretty bad COVID hotspot at the moment, and I was just calling because I'm someone who tends to lean left, center left, I'd say, and I think people underestimate the level of programming that people have in rural America, especially what I see here, where people are rabidly disbelieving of any logical points, especially when it comes to COVID, but also just
Okay, I think I get the point.
Hi, David. Have you ever considered having Mike Lindell on for a weekly spot on the show?
That's from last week. That's funny. That's from last week, and yet here we have an interview with Mike Pillow. Yeah. So we filmed an interview today. We're releasing a minute at a time every 10 signups. Why not? The full thing will be released soon. We're still figuring it out. I don't think I have the energy to have him on daily. Woody Underwood says, I'd appreciate it if you play my voice messages. Popsicle stick and tape, rather use them and be alive. Pac-Man versus Crowder, let's go. I think Mike Pillow probably wouldn't stay centered because he wanted everyone to see the picture of Jesus behind him, former evangelical here. That could be. That certainly could be. Thanks to Thomas Stebbings, who just signed up on my website with the coupon code MyHIPAA. Also, thanks to Nug Wrangler for signing up, gifting a subscription via Twitch Prime, and then putting us at 100, getting us another minute. You know what? Since we got to 100, I'll do 2 minutes for every 10 now, is Thomas Johnson, number 100. We're now doing 2 minutes of Pillow for every 10. It is false hope to believe he will be reinstated. You've said August or September. Do you still believe that, and what's the mechanism?
100% I believe that. And
wow.
That she's misconstrued. I mean, there's a couple things here. We're having the cyber symposium. After that, that's August 10th, 11th, and 12th. Everybody's going to watch this. I want it to be the biggest watched event in history.
Yep.
Billion people. You watch that and you're going to see the packet captures and data from the whole election. This is non-subjective evidence, everybody. It's what I've had for months now. And I've been trying to get the word out, but let's just cancel Mike Lindell and My Pillow. I've been trying to get the word out. Now this gets out. We've had it ready for the Supreme Court. It's called a quo warranto. We bring that to the Supreme Court and everyone says, well, they're not going to bring back Donald Trump. Yes, they are. Here's why.
So hold on, Mike, I want to hear it, but I want to make sure the audience doesn't miss it. The Supreme Court is the mechanism that will bring them back, you're saying?
There's more than one, but I'm giving you the first one.
Okay.
The easiest one.
Okay.
The easiest one. When we get through the cyber symposium, which everybody needs to tell everybody to watch, this is so important because these 9 Supreme Court justices, they're people too. They've lived the American dream. They have families, they have children, grandchildren, friends, family. Everyone needs to watch this because it shows that this was an attack by China. on our country. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or Republican. I said on Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy said, if it was reversed, Mike, would you do the same thing? Absolutely, I would. This is an attack on our country. So what happens is, in our country's history, every elected official, everyone that you find out later there was a crime committed, i.e. election fraud,
Wow.
the real winner gets put back in. It's happened every single election. Now, it's never happened at the presidential level.
Okay, so there we are. 2 more minutes of the Pillow interview. It is 28 minutes long, if you can believe it. He really gave me plenty of time. I don't know what he's talking about, by the way. People are saying that they don't understand it. I did the interview and I don't understand. I don't know what he's talking about. I have no idea. No idea whatsoever. Thanks to Theo Steinmiller for signing up with the coupon code MyHIPAA. Also, thanks to Ryan Bila for signing up on my website with the coupon code MyHIPAA. Lastly, thanks to Mr. Major Bacon, number 103. Appreciate the sign. It took him about 26 of the 28 minutes for him to realize I was trolling him. Woody Underwood says your questions of Mike Pillow violated hippo and giraffe and gazelle, I would even say. David, has anyone checked Mike Lindell's head for bamboo shoot? Right. No, that's a good point. Few other voicemails. Let's see what else we've got.
Hello, David. My name is Indigo Noguera. I'm based in Tucson, Arizona. The reason I'm calling is, I know you said you don't like to talk about future elections, but there's some concerns I have. Of the potential 2024 candidates on the Republican side, the people that worry me the most, to be honest, are Mike Pompeo and Tom Cotton. And honestly, I'm worried that if one of them becomes the president, we will slide into a militarized, Christianized fascism.
Listen, at this point, we don't even know that those people are running. So it's like, I think it makes sense to be like, Trump clearly would love to run if he could win. And what happens in 22 will influence that. So there's some relevance. People that have not even indicated they're running or even plan to run or want to, I don't know that I have anything to say about that right now. Let's listen to the next voicemail.
For what it's worth, let me register my opinion on this anti-vax sympathy, this Reddit poll that you're citing, which I did not participate in, but I think you probably know where I'm going to fall. That's right. I fall on the side of no sympathy, and they deserve what they get coming to them. And why is that, David? It's because, number one, I don't know them personally. If I know them personally, like a neighbor of mine, I might fall in the category below that, the one where I say no, but I don't wish them death. And here's why. Because we are not approaching a crossroads in this country. We've already passed the crossroads. We are now at the precipice. And desperate times call for desperate people. Actually, it could be the other way around.
Isn't it desperate times call for desperate measures? I don't even know what that's about.
David, I was recently watching a video of you talking to Destiny online about wanting to get back into, I guess, debating. And my wife heard it, and she thinks that Destiny sounds like Ben Shapiro. I would love your reaction to this.
I don't know about that. I mean, maybe there's something there. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know.
Hi, David. I just wanted to call and talk about the mask mandates. I'm all for wearing masks. It's fine. I've been vaccinated. I got vaccinated in the first round in December. So I'm fine. However, my issue with this new possible, blanket of mask mandates, I kind of feel a little irritated that I feel like at some point in time, when are we going to go ahead and turn around and say, now it's personal responsibility?
Yeah, I've talked about this a whole bunch of times. I don't know. It's personal responsibility, but at the same time, what we do affects others. We had the video earlier from this doctor in Louisiana who explained, if you get in a car accident, I might not have room for you, even though you might have done all the right things because of all the COVID people. So it's not as simple as personal responsibility. It's just not quite so simple.
Hey, David. I'm not drunk. I just sound like it late at night, and I'm calling you to tell you that
Is this Eric the actor from the grave?
I have a 9-minute message you can't use on your show. And I'm wondering if the next sign-up bonus will be my Sharona, because you already used the other one. Anyway, have a good night. No, I'm not drunk or high either.
All right, so there it is. A super strong statement there. Let's see what else is going on here. Oh, sorry. Are we doing another 2 minutes of My Pillow? Shay B just signed up via Twitch Prime, putting us at 104. ADT Chemistry is 105. Chris Schellabarger just signed up on my website. So did Alan Delgado and Richard Russell, putting us at 108. All right, so we're almost at another 2 minutes of pillow. Let's see what else we've got here.
Mr. Pac-Man, thanks so much for taking my call. I'm calling because I heard your interview with Nick Majerle regarding millennials in terms of their ability to accumulate wealth, and retaining financial stability, and also dealing with issues like student debt. And it reminds me of something that I remember reading on a Hill, and I wanted to ask you about that. I'm curious what you think about students who decide to not pay their student loans. There's an college finance reports that 35% of students who are in debt stop repaying their loans, and the reasoning.
Okay, yeah, I that's super specific. I would probably have to think about that a little bit.
Hello, my name is Billy, and David, I was just wondering, how you feel about the Delta variant? And me and my family, we went on down and got done-diddly-do-da-dun-dee-do great.
What on earth?
Vaccinated, and we're feeling good about it, but we're worried about this Delta variant. So I was wondering what you thought about it, Mr. Parkman. So you help us out.
They immediately called right back.
Hi, this is at Crimson Tide at twitter.com, and I was just wondering. I'm from North Carolina. And I was wondering how you felt about the eviction moratorium, and how if Biden drops the ball on this, we're probably pretty screwed for 2022, I reckon.
He may be making an announcement about that momentarily, in fact. Thank you to Lil John 619 for the Twitch sub, number 109 today. Few other super chats coming in. The previous caller was clearly Derek from Texas. Right, it wasn't Eric the actor. It was Derek from Texas. Sir, remind people you have to re-up Twitch Prime. Yeah, it doesn't automatically happen. You have to re-up it. Desperate times call for unhinged interviews. Did Pillow reveal Trump's beautiful health plan? He did not, actually. What's better, sell to uniform or buy uniform? I don't know what that means. Biden to announce new eviction moratorium, 60 days, 90% coverage. I don't know if that's true, but that's interesting. Bay Photo says if Trump is reinstated, I'll sue for HIPAA and HIPPO. Kyle says, look like you turned into Tucker for a second there. Billy is a prank audio from Ownage Pranks. I don't know what that is. You got me. I don't know what that is. Thanks to Christopher Rides a Bike, we are now at 110 new members today. And that gets us another couple minutes of the Mike Pillow interview.
Right. That's the only difference. So there is precedence. But also, you combine this
precedence
with attack by China. This was a very, very, very. It's an act of war, basically, is what it is. They've attacked us, and the Democrats warned us of this. Everybody, they warned us, from my Senator Amy Klobuchar to Kamala Harris. They all warned us about this cyber attack.
Why can't any of them say Kamala?
About going through the machines and taking our country without guns, and they just happened to use the Democrat Party. So no matter who you are, we go back to it. Now, the Supreme Court's going to get this.
Yeah.
We're going to give it probably late August. And now what they do with it, I'm not the Supreme Court, but they'll have some options. They might put, pull it down and put Donald Trump in right away because its evidence is non-subjective. 100%.
I see.
Or because all the down tickets were affected too. Many, many down tickets. Maybe the Supreme Court, I'm just putting it out there, has a whole new election.
Wow.
Now you say, well, how could we have a new election with these machines? We can't. But at the symposium on the 10th, 11th, and 12th of August, remember, it's live streamed on Frank Speech worldwide.
Of course.
And worldwide, frankspeech.com. We're going to live stream it 72 hours straight. We're going to unveil a replacement for the machines. And everyone says, well, Mike, are you going to do that? Now you're going to show this is just a money thing so you can make money? No, we're giving the technology away to all companies. So
okay. But to one, I want to go one thing because there's so much here. My head is is literally spinning here, Mike. Just to show how confident you are that this reinstatement would happen. Would you want to make a financial bet with me on it? Because I just don't see it, and I want to prove to people just how confident you are. Would you want to put $25,000 up against me on? All right, what do you think he says? You think he takes the bet? You guys think he bets me? What do people think? Huh? What do you think? Does he bet me? Is he so confident? Thanks to Black White Rook, by the way, for the Twitch sub. Does he bet me the 25 grand? Also, thanks to Chris from work, number 112 today. Thanks to Kirk Alexander for signing up on my website with the. What do people think? Does Mike Pillow take the bet? Let's just back it up a little bit here. All right, here we go.
For the machines. And everyone says, well, Mike, are you going to do that? Now you're going to show this is just a money thing so you can make money? No, we're giving the technology away to all companies. So
okay. But so to one, I want to go one thing because there's so much here. My head is is literally spinning here, Mike. Just to show how confident you are that this reinstatement would happen. Would you want to make a financial bet with me on it? Because I just don't see it, and I want to prove to people just how confident you are. Would you want to put $25,000 up against me on it that by the end of September, Trump is reinstated?
One of my addictions was gambling.
But
I will tell you this. I put up $5 million
So the answer is no, guys. He doesn't take the bet because he has a problem with gambling. He has a problem with gambling. Okay, guys? No deal. You should have known. That was quite predictable, I must say. I want to say thanks to Richard Rangel, who just signed up at joinpacman.com, putting us at 114. We will release another 2 minutes at the 120 mark. Now that's true. It's not gambling if it's 100%, right? It's sort of like, if I say I'll bet you the sun comes up tomorrow, it's not 100%, but it's pretty damn close. It's not really a gamble in that sense. That's an interesting point. David, my mom says, qué guapo e inteligente ese muchacho. Talking about me. Me gustó mucho. I introduced her to your channel after she mentioned having difficulty separating truth from fiction on YouTube. Great job. Very much appreciate that. Love it. David, what the hell is Mike the Pillow Guy talking about? I have no idea. David Deepak Pacman, host of the David Pacman Show. Sure. Did Mike offer you your own pillow discount code? He did not. I don't think he was that eager to have me selling pillows. Here's a new caller who called 1, 2, 3, 4 times in a row. Could be something. Let's see.
Hey, David, it is Steven Eckert again, just giving you my daily phone call. Just wanted to let you know I'm openly challenging any left-wing debater to a debate. I am not a right-winger. I am far left. In fact, I believe I live left while other people just talk about it. I would like to debate TYT, but they are very much dodging me after the Crowder
They're dodging him.
Debacle.
My sense is TYT has no idea who this guy is.
Where no one would Crowder wouldn't debate Cedar because Cedar's too small for him. There's no reason my little channel shouldn't debate.
I think Chris Vosh wants to debate this guy. So then he called right back again.
So, sorry, Stephen Eckert, one more time. I just want to finish these things I'm saying is like, you know, the shirts that you wear. You actually advertise and prop up that company. I don't know if it is or if it isn't, but is that recycled materials?
What? What on earth? Oh, my God.
You could do that. You know, you can wear recycled clothes.
I might just wear a trash bag, actually.
Can make the choice yourself in your own life as David Pakman to do the things that I can tell you that are simple in your own life to make the change. I don't see one left-wing host doing that.
I'm currently weaving pants from all the bamboo fibers that they're pulling off the ballots in the Arizona audit.
The Humanist Report. Do you know how much petroleum goes into the tattoos that he has?
That can't be real. Oh my God. I'm going to have to talk to Mike from Humanist Report. This guy's the best. The petroleum footprint of his tattoos. Oh my God. That cannot be real. Please clip it, guys. That is something else. I can't tell if this is real. Let's see a little bit more.
Like, is that not vanity? It is, bro. All of those things are
well, my tattoo carbon footprint is 0. I have no tattoos.
That are causing the resources to be sucked dry off of this planet. Every lady who puts on makeup every single day that's petrol-based doesn't want to take responsibility for the soldier that dies across seas. Stop putting makeup on your face. Men, stop making these women feel like they have to put makeup on their face. They're beautiful.
So this is getting really edgy. So then he immediately called right back.
Hey, David, last message and message 3. The last thing I want to say is I will go to a TYT live chat and I will say what I just told you, and they silence me on that channel. And
well, if it's like 10 pages, to transcribe it is like 10 pages. It probably was a wall of text you wouldn't stop. We'd have to do the same thing.
And the left. That is a problem, dude. Huge problem.
And also, why are you calling me about TYT? I have nothing to do with TYT.
Literally silence me. I follow every TOS rule. I am never disrespectful. I am literally nicer than Dan Bailey was to Tucker Carlson to these people, with the exception of saying I will decimate them in a debate. That's it. And that's not ban-worthy. We all know it's not. So what I'm trying to get at here is what happens when they do that. So I don't feel comfortable on a left-wing channel. I can't say what I feel, and it's
Whoop, hold on, what happened there?
Communicated from a left-wing channel. So what happens to people like that? Like, where am I left to go? You know, like, this is how you push people to the right, is because I literally look at it and go, wow, the left will...
I don't know what is he saying that as a left-winger who's mad at left-wingers, he's not allowed to chat, and so now everybody's on the right as a result?
Me at all. They do not want to listen to me. Where is my choice to go? To the right? Is that what they really want? They, you know, it's hard to look at yourself and go, you know what, man? I should do this, man. I'm going to do that. You know what? Tomorrow is David Pakman. I'm going to buy a recycled shirt, wear it on the air, and prop it up. That's it. Like, that's all we got to do, man. It is not hard. You know, listen to the real left. We are the minuscule portion of this world. And the problem is there is propaganda.
All right. And then he promised that was his last call, but he did call back again with a full 3-minute call.
Sorry, David. Stephen Eckert, one more time. Just, I can discuss these things with you calmly. We can have this discussion on air.
I wasn't getting that impression.
Going to be the way I am in the last few messages.
What is there even to discuss, you know?
It's the frustration of being shunned by a left-wing site and feeling like you have nowhere to go with the real information. I just, you know, really need you to know that we have to have this discussion on air. We have to get to the bottom of these issues and make people accountable on an individual level. We just cannot sit around and wait for policymakers, man. It's not getting the job done. And the point of this last message is, man, TYT's moderators are calling me a paid right-wing troll.
Dude, it's like, who they're I can't have... I have nothing to do with TYT or TYT's moderators. I have no way to adjudicate any of what is being said. It has nothing to do with my show. It's just like, come on, guys, please. By the way, this is a funny contrast to that last one.
Hey, David. Have you ever considered just doing away with the voicemails on the show?
I'm thinking about it right now, actually. Why? It's interesting you should bring that up. It just occurred to me. I just thought of it. Is there any way to reach those who choose to follow Trump? How can they be fooled by this obvious con man? I don't know. Enrique says, hi, dad got COVID. He's 62, damaged his heart, now has heart failure. Needs to get a pacemaker. Yes, I'm pissed off at these right-wingers. Clowns. Sorry to hear that. Imagine calling to virtue signal a YouTuber sponsors. Hey, David, maybe you should wear a paper bag over your head like Shia LaBeouf while doing your show. Is it LaBeouf or LaBeouf? Anybody know? Nobody knows. Okay, that's fine. Whoa, here we go. Joe Biden. All right. Big announcement coming. Masked, safely masked.
Good afternoon. Last week, I laid out what we need to do to beat the COVID-19 pandemic and the challenges posed by the Delta variant. This is a very different variant than what we've dealt with previously. It's highly transmissible, and it's causing a new wave of cases. It accounts for over 80% of all COVID-19 cases in the United States today. Experts tell us that we're going to see these cases rise in the weeks ahead, a largely preventable tragedy that will get worse before it gets better. What's different about this surge from previous ones is we have the tools to prevent this rise in cases from shutting down our businesses, our schools, our society, as we saw what happened last year. While cases are on the rise, it's important to note we've not seen a comparable rise in hospitalizations or deaths in most areas of the country.
In most.
That's because 165 million Americans are fully vaccinated, including 80% of the most vulnerable Americans, our seniors. The best line of defense against the Delta virus is the vaccine. It's as simple as that, period. The vaccine. I want to be crystal clear about what's happening in the country today. We have a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Now, I know there's a lot of misinformation out there.
So I have people telling me to turn off the closed captioning and to turn it on. So I don't know what to do, guys.
Highly unlikely to get COVID-19. And even if you do, the chances are you won't show any symptoms. And if you do, they'll most likely be very mild. Vaccinated people almost never are hospitalized with COVID-19. In fact, according to one recent study, 95% of overall COVID-19 hospitalizations are among those not fully vaccinated. And the data shows that virtually all the cases, hospitalizations and deaths due to COVID-19 are from the unvaccinated population. Last month, a study showed that over 99% of COVID-19 deaths have been among the unvaccinated people. 99%. That means if you're unvaccinated, you are much more likely to, 1, get COVID-19, 2, get hospitalized, and 3, die if you get it. This is a tragedy. People are dying and will die who don't have to die. The data is absolutely clear. As I've said, we have a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Think of it this way. 191 million Americans have gotten at least one shot, including 70% of adults over the age of 18. 165 million Americans are fully vaccinated, but about 90 million Americans are eligible for vaccines and still haven't gotten their first shot. You know, I think there's a clear link between the lowest vaccinated, the lowest vaccinated states and the states with the highest case rates. This past week, the most vaccinated state in America, Vermont, has seen just 5 new cases, 5 per day of COVID-19 for every 100,000 people who live in that state. That means on any given day, only 30 people in the entire state of Vermont got COVID-19. Nearby Maine, which has vaccinated almost 80% of their adults, has seen just 6 new cases per 100,000. But the state with the lowest vaccination rates are seeing 10 to 20 times as many new cases per 100,000 people. It's moving like wildfire through the unvaccinated community. And it's heartbreaking, particularly because it's preventable. That's why we're doing everything we can to get more people vaccinated. And we're seeing real results. In the past 2 weeks, we've seen a 55% increase in the average number of new people getting vaccinated every day.
That's good.
In the last 7 days alone, nearly 3 million Americans have gotten their first shot. That's the highest 7-day total in a month. Importantly, over the past 2 weeks, the 8 states with the highest current case rates have seen a doubling of the number of people newly vaccinated each day. The message is getting through, apparently. Louisiana has seen a 212% increase in the average number of newly vaccinated people in that state per day, going from 3,600 to over 11,000 people vaccinated per day. Arkansas is up 99%. Mississippi is up 125%. Alabama is up 186%, going from 3,200 to 9,150 people vaccinated per day. This will make a big difference. These are encouraging signs. We have to continue our aggressive efforts to vaccinate the unvaccinated. Last week, I announced additional steps to incentivize Americans to get vaccinated, including calling on states to offer $100 for anyone willing to step up and get a vaccination shot. You know, and already Minnesota and New Mexico have done that. And North Carolina announced its $100 incentive today. Places that have offered the $100, that'd be really good. I'd go back and get vaccinated 3 times. But all kidding aside, offered the $100 to get vaccination have seen an uptick of 25% in daily vaccination rates. We also announced that small and medium-sized businesses will be fully reimbursed for offering paid time off for their employees to get vaccinated and for them to take a child or a parent to get vaccinated. And I announced some tough, sometimes unpopular steps to keep people safe and our economy strong. All federal workers must report their vaccination status or be subject to strict requirements. Any federal worker who does not attest to their vaccination status or is not vaccinated will be required to mask no matter where they work, test 1 or twice a week, socially distance, and generally will not be allowed to travel for work.
Wow.
I directed my administration to take steps to apply similar standards to all federal contractors. If you want to do business with the federal government, get your workers vaccinated. And I also directed the Pentagon to look at adding COVID-19 to the list of vaccinations that are required for our troops, because the others are required. I approved the Department of Veterans Affairs to require doctors, nurses, and other healthcare workers who care for our veterans to be vaccinated. And the good news is that now many are following the federal government's lead. In the past several days, states and local officials have come out to impose similar vaccination mandates. And the private sector is stepping up as well. Even Fox has vaccination requirements.
Even Fox.
Walmart, Google, Netflix, Disney, Tyson Foods for their recent actions requiring vaccination for employees. Look, I know this isn't easy, but I will have their backs and the backs of other private public sector leaders if they take such steps. But others have declined to step up. I find it disappointing. And worst of all, some state officials are passing laws or signing orders that forbid people from doing the right thing.
A lot of people getting banned, by the way.
7 states not only ban mask mandates, but also ban them in their school districts, even for young children who cannot get vaccinated. Some states have even banned businesses and universities from requiring workers and students to be masked or vaccinated. And the most extreme of those measures is like the one in Texas that says state universities or community colleges could be fined if it allows a teacher to ask her unvaccinated students to wear a mask. What are we doing? COVID-19 is a national challenge, and it must come together. We have to come together, all of us together, as a country to solve it. Make no mistake, the escalation of cases is particularly concentrated in states with low vaccination rates. Just 2 states, Florida and Texas, account for 1/3 of all new COVID-19 cases in the entire
Can you imagine?
Just 2 states. Look, we need leadership from everyone. If some governors aren't willing to do the right thing to beat this pandemic, then they should allow businesses and universities who want to do the right thing to be able to do it. I say to these governors, please help. But if you aren't going to help, at least get out of the way of the people who are trying to do the right thing. Use your power to save lives. I've made it our first and top priority to have a vaccine available for every single American from the day I got elected. That was my priority. But let me be clear. We have a supply for every single American. And that will never change. At the same time, it's also in our national interest to share some of our vaccines with the world.
Please.
Which gets me to the second thing I want to discuss today. From the beginning of my presidency, I've been very clear-eyed that we need to attack this virus globally, not just at home, because it's in America's self-interest to do so. The virus knows no boundaries. You can't build a wall high enough to keep it out. There's no wall high enough or ocean wide enough to keep us safe from the vaccine and from the COVID-19 in other countries. In fact, just like the original virus that caused COVID-19, the Delta variant came from abroad. As long as the virus continues to rage outside the United States, potentially more dangerous variants could arrive at our shores again. And we know that COVID-19 in other countries stifles economic growth, disrupts supply chains, risks instability and weakness of governments. And as we've seen in the United States, the key to growing economies is to vaccinate people. So just as the American economy is recovering, it's in all of our interest to have the global economy begin to recover as well. This is about our values. We value inherent dignity of all people, the inherent dignity of everyone. In times of trouble, Americans reach out to offer a helping hand. That's who we are. And I've said before, in the fight against COVID-19, the United States is committed to be the arsenal of vaccines, just as we were the arsenal of democracy during World War II. We're backing up that commitment. We've contributed more than any other nation to COVAX, the collective global efforts delivering COVID-19 vaccines across the world. We've supported manufacturing efforts abroad through our partnerships with Japan, India, Australia, known as the Quad. During my trip to Europe in June, I announced that the United States has purchased a groundbreaking 500 million doses of Pfizer and then donate those doses, to nearly 100 low and middle income countries who don't have the vaccine. Those doses will start to ship at the end of this month. We also announced that we donate 80 million doses of our own vaccine to supply the world, which has already begun. And today, I have an important update. We've already exceeded 80 million doses that have gone out. As of today, the United States has shipped over 110 million doses of U.S. vaccines to 65 countries that are among the hardest hit in the world. Let me say it again. As of today, we have shipped over 110 million doses to 65 nations. According to the United Nations, this is more than the donations of all 24 countries that have donated any vaccine to other countries, including China and Russia, all those nations combined. These vaccine donations from America are free. We're not selling them. There are no demands, no conditions, no coercion attached. And there's no favoritism and no strings attached. We're doing this to save lives and to end this pandemic. That's it. In fact, we're donating vaccines to countries that have real issues we have real issues with. And we'll continue to give tens of millions of the doses away across the summer and work to increase U.S. manufacturing and manufacturing of vaccines around the world as well. And it's not just vaccines. We're continuing to provide countries with in need with more testing, protective equipment, and personnel to stem the surge of the virus. We've done it in India and elsewhere. Let me close with this. I've said before, in the race for the 21st century between democracy and autocracies, we need to prove that democracies can deliver. And the democracies of the world are looking to America to lead again in two ways. First, to demonstrate we can control this virus at home. And second, to show we can help address it around the world. Vaccinate America and help vaccinate the world. That's how we're about to beat this thing. We're always going to have enough doses for every American who wants one. Our work in donating vaccines to the world is about America following through on our promises and delivering what we say we'll deliver. It's showing how American science and technology, American business and academia, and our government can all work together. Above all, it's proving democracies can deliver. And yet again, that America is back leading the world, not by the example of our power, but by the power of our example.
Right.
We still have a lot of work to do. So if you're unvaccinated, please, please, please get the shot. But just don't take it from me. Just read the news. Listen to the voices of the unvaccinated patients in the hospital. They're spending the most powerful message to their families and everyone around the world. A powerful message to everybody. As they're lying in bed, many dying from COVID-19, they're asking, Doc, can I get the vaccine? The doctors have to look them in the eye and say, no, sorry, it's too late. Right now, too many people are dying, are watching a loved one dying and saying, if I just got vaccinated, if I just. Folks, this isn't about politics. The virus doesn't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. This is about life and death. Life and death. I can't say it any more plainly than this. The vaccine saves lives, and it could save yours or your child's. You know, I know we can do this. We're the United States of America. We're prepared like never before. We have the tools and the resources to save lives at home and around the world. This is who we are. This is what we do. This is why there's no nation like us on earth. Well, God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Now I'll take a few questions.
Mr. President, I have a question for you on coronavirus, but first I'd like to start with the news of the day, given back in March you said that if the investigation confirmed the allegations against Governor Cuomo, then he should resign. So will you now call on him to resign?
I'm calling for him to resign.
The investigator said the 11 women were credible.
I stand by that statement.
Are you now calling on him to resign?
Yes.
And if he doesn't resign, do you believe he should be impeached and removed from office?
Let's take one thing at a time here. I think he should resign. I understand that the state legislature may decide to impeach. I don't know that for a fact. I've not read all that data.
And
he's got to go.
Photo of you embracing him in his self-defense to say that these are commonplace kind of embraces that he made and the allegations against him. Do you condone that?
Look, I'm not going to fly-spec this. I am sure there are some embraces that were totally innocent. But apparently the Attorney General decided there were things that weren't.
If I could ask you a question about the evictions. No, thank you. On the evictions and the moratorium that lapsed on Saturday night, what is your strategy to prevent potentially millions of people from being evicted from their homes, given what we are told your administration is considering a targeted moratorium is likely to face legal challenges?
Any call for a moratorium based on the Supreme Court recent decision is likely to face obstacles. I've indicated to the CDC I'd like them to look at other alternatives than the one that is in power in existence, which the court has declared they're not going to allow to continue. And the CDC will have something to announce to you in the next hour to 2 hours.
Whoa.
On overseas coronavirus vaccines, should other high-income countries follow the lead of the United States and increase donations to low and middle-income countries?
I think those countries that have been able to cover their population and have the ability to provide either dollars and or vaccine for the 100 or so poor nations that need help should do so. We had that discussion at the G7. A number of those countries said they were going to do that.
For people wondering why the CDC about moratorium on eviction, from the beginning, that's been a provision sort of directed by and managed by the CDC. It's not totally intuitive necessarily. I understand that, but he's sort of hinting the CDC will be announcing something.
Governor Abbott are personally making decisions that are harming their own citizens?
I believe the results of their decisions are not good for their constituents. And it's clear to me and to most of the medical experts that the decisions being made, like not allowing mask mandates in school and the like, are bad health policy. Bad health policy.
Mr. President, I have a question about something that you just said.
I'm sure you do.
Thank you. You just said there is no wall high enough and no ocean wide enough to protect us from the virus. So what is the thinking behind letting untested and unvaccinated migrants cross the southern border into U.S. cities in record numbers?
There is, what we're doing, we have not withdrawn the order that is sometimes critical or criticized, saying that unvaccinated people should go back across the border. But unaccompanied children is a different story, because that's the most humane thing to do, is to test them and to treat them and not send them back alone.
Mr.
President, have you spoken with Governor Cuomo today?
I have not.
And then one other question on the virus. You just said we have to continue our aggressive efforts to get the unvaccinated vaccinated. Other countries have found a lot of success in requiring vaccines in public places. New York City just announced today that they'll require vaccines for restaurants and gyms. Do you think more cities and states should institute rules like that?
I do.
And are you going to publicly call on them? Should they institute a vaccine passport system, or it's up to each city and state to figure that out on their own?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Do you think that they should institute a vaccine passport type system or some sort of verification to use public spaces?
I don't think they need to do that. I think they just need to give the authority of those restaurants or businesses to say, in order to come in, you have to give proof that you've been vaccinated, or other you can't come in. Take a couple more.
Mr. President, can I ask you about the news of the day? One more on Governor Cuomo. You're calling for him to resign now. My question is, do you think he should be prosecuted? And what is your message to the women who have now accused him of sexually harassing them and abusing them?
Look, what I said was, if the investigation of the Attorney General concluded that the allegations are correct, that back in March, that I would recommend he resign. That's what I'm doing today. I've not read the report. I don't know the details.
Yeah, that's a typical reporter kind of baiting question, where it's like, he doesn't get involved in prosecution and he doesn't know the women. There's just a report and he should resign, you know?
Eviction moratoriums. Can you explain a little bit more why it took so long to have a possible eviction moratorium be put into place? There were people, this expired on Saturday. I'm wondering, there are folks who are saying it took too long for this to happen.
Well, look, the courts made it clear that the existing moratorium was not constitutional. it wouldn't stand. And they made that clear back in, I guess, July 15th or July 18th. In the meantime, what I've been pushing for and calling for is we have billions of dollars that we've given to states to provide for rent and utilities for those people who can't afford to stay in their homes because they can't, in an apartment, they can't pay their rent. And so we're urging them to distribute those funds to the landlords. I believe that would take care of the vast majority of what needs to be done to keep people in their apartments now. And so that's what we're working on. Some states have done it and some communities have, but they have not. The money is there. It's not, we don't have to send it out. It's been sent out to the states and counties. Billions of dollars for the express purpose of providing for back rent and rent the people who are in the middle of this crisis. And that's there. That's what we're pushing now. And we've been pushing that. That's the immediate thing to do. Take one more question.
Mr. President, thank you so much. There was an expectation that you would be announcing again new vaccines to the world today, new other than the ones you promised. Are you ready to send more vaccines to the world? And there is a delegation from the White House going to Brazil tomorrow. Are they bringing more vaccines? Are they announcing more vaccines to Brazil?
No. Are they announcing more vaccines overall?
Overall, and then to Brazil, for the delegation coming to Brazil tomorrow, we will be bringing vaccines.
The answer is I don't know whether the delegation going physically has vaccines with them. We have provided vaccines to Brazil.
Bringing the announcement, are they announcing there?
Well, no. There's a need for several billion doses around the world. We have committed to over 500 million doses, and we're trying to provide for more and provide for the capacity of countries like India to be able to produce the vaccine themselves. And we're helping them do that. That's what we're doing now. And we're trying to, and by the way, it's free. We're not charging anybody anything. And we're trying to do as much as we possibly can. Thank you.
Administration is about to announce a new partial eviction moratorium.
That's what he implied.
Related. Can you tell us any more about that, and are you sure it's going to pass Supreme Court muster?
The answer is twofold. One, I've sought out constitutional scholars to determine what is the best possibility that would come from executive action or the CDC's judgment. What could they do that was most likely to pass muster constitutionally? The bulk of the constitutional scholarship says that it's not likely to pass constitutional muster, number one. But there are several key scholars who think that it may, and it's worth the effort. But the present, you could not, the court's already ruled on the present eviction moratorium. So I think what you're going to see, and I want to make it clear. I told you I would not tell the Justice Department or the medical experts, the scientists, what they should say or do. So I don't want to get ahead. The CDC has to make this. I asked the CDC to go back and consider other options that may be available to them. You're going to hear from them what those other options are. I have been informed they're about to make a judgment as to potential other options. Whether that option will pass constitutional measure with this administration, I can't tell you. I don't know. There are a few scholars who say it will, and others who say it's not likely to. But at a minimum, by the time it gets litigated, it will probably give some additional time while we're getting that $45 billion out to people who are, in fact, behind in the rent and don't have the money. That's why it was passed in the act that we passed in the beginning of my administration, and it went to the states. We were under the impression that the states were moving this money out relatively rapidly. So, for example, if I'm in an apartment, if you're in an apartment, and you're behind on 4 or 5 months' rent, and let's say your rent is $2,000 a month, I'm just making this up out of the blue, and you're behind, you need $10,000 to catch up. Hardly anybody has that $10,000. But there's money that the states have that can give to the landlord that $10,000 to the back rent. The future rent, it's unlikely, at least the hope is, since they have been made whole to that point, that they'd be inclined, because the economy is growing, inclined not to throw someone out in the street, keep that person, no guarantee, keep that person in the apartment, keep the kids in the same school district, and count on being able to have the opportunity for that person to be able, who may now be employed, to pay their rent. But in the meantime, I've asked that, is there any safety valve we can put in? And it's the one I explained to you. Again, CDC will announce that and the details of exactly how it works. I told them I want them to take a look. I didn't tell them what they had to do.
Right.
And my hope is it's going to be a new moratorium that in some way, and I'm not going to announce it now, let them announce it, in some way covers close to 90% of the American people.
That's the rumor. Yeah.
And so that's all I can tell you now. Thank you very much.
What's the difference?
Because it's let them explain that to you, okay? I don't want to get too far ahead. Thank you.
President, is COVAX doing enough to get shots in arms?
Why not call Governor DeSantis, Mr. President?
Off he goes.
To deliver the message that you seem to be delivering today about get out of the way.
What did he say to you in that discussion?
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Uh-oh, is the door blocked? Oh, his mask. The door is the door locked or? All right, guys, you know what? Because we are getting so dangerously close to 85,000 Twitch followers, let's just look at a little bit of my interview with Mike Pillow from earlier today. Okay, guys, we're about to hit 85,000 on Twitch. It's going to be crazy. If we hit it, we'll keep playing the interview. Here we go. Yeah.
At the Cyber Symposium, $5 million for anyone that's there, which is we've invited. Now we have over 100 cyber forensic experts from around the country and a couple from out of this country.
What does that mean? A cyber forensic? What's that credential? A cyber forensic expert?
They have CISSP, but it's more than that. These are guys that protect our country. A lot of them work for the government. When you have a cyber attack, these are experts that can read these packet captures, that can just, what actually happened. It shows where the attack came from, the computer that was intruded, how many votes were flipped. They're going to read all this during the 72 hours. We're going to go through all 50 states. And a packet capture, everybody, is like a picture you can't change. You can't alter.
That's true, but Mike, and this is so important because I saw the packet captures and I saw the numbers, and I went to, in preparation for the interview, to be thorough, I went to some cyber experts on this. What they told me is that what you previewed, I don't remember if it was on Frank's speech or on Newsmax or where it was a couple weeks ago, but you showed the numbers scrolling. They said that's absolutely meaningless. That those are called hex dumps, and it's just a way to look at computer memory.
We just put
big
B-roll
massive
those
dumps.
aren't the captures. So we put B-roll. Those are from the election.
Those are
every single outlet, including CNN. I just did a 2.5-hour interview with them about 4 days ago.
Okay.
That's to show you what this data, if you're any kind of a cyber guy, you can decipher and say, well, that was from the 2020 election.
Okay.
Your guy should have told you that.
So what you're saying is what you put up there is the style of what you will be unveiling at the symposium, but it is not the actual data.
Those were actual data.
It was actual data.
That was actual data, 100%.
Oh my God.
Data. So if you talk to guys, that wasn't packet capture. That was data from the packet captures that were captured. So what we're going to do at the Cyber Symposium.
Don't you guys understand that it's so obvious what he's talking about?
You're going to be able to go up to, imagine this, we're going to have on stage, we're going to have a panel, and we're going to go just like election night. And the state of New Hampshire goes to Donald Trump.
Whoa.
This will be the real election, okay?
Wow.
And to the side of the stage, we have a cyber center. Any of these politicians or the media, you're invited yourself, David, if you want to come. And then you can get your $5 million prize. You can bring your own cyber guys. Absolutely. If you're beside the stage, you'll be able to punch in a state or a county or the whole election. If you punch in the whole election, you got Donald Trump winning 80 million to 68 million. But now you do this. Now listen, we're going to have these 100 cyber guys that came from all over the country. None of them know each other. They were, we invited and they've called in, we've vetted them that they're good. They're the best. Okay. So they're going to divide up into groups, like let's say 8 to a group, and we're going to give them a state. Here's the state.
Sounds fun.
Georgia. Here's the raw data. And they're going to sit there and make sure 100% that what I'm telling you is the truth.
They'll go through it.
And they're going to go through it live.
I see.
And then we're going to have them on the stage, and they're going to have the people. It's like reading a language. Let's say this was all written in Chinese. You'd have to have people there that could read the Chinese and say, "Yep, this is what it says."
Now, is that Mandarin or Cantonese that he's talking about?
Now, since it's non-subjective, every cyber guy will say the exact same thing. And when you're watching that from home. Now, when you're watching that, anybody, cyber guy or anybody in the world that sees this will be 100%, not 92%. By the time the symposium is over, everyone, Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives, are going to go,
wow,
we need to do something now. This was an attack by China. This is real. These heroes that captured this information, which is these packet captures, our government should have been doing this because the Democrats weren't it. But they said, none of the machines were online. So why would it'd be like getting flood insurance when you say, hey, there's not going to be any water. But they lied to us. They lied to the American people.
So I'm out of breath from all of this information that you're giving me, Mike. There's a couple other things I want to get to, and maybe I know your time is short, so maybe we can keep these short. I am not a Christian, so I may not be in a position to understand this. But if Donald Trump was selected by God, as you are certain that he was, why would God allow Joe Biden to even become president and force you to go through all of this? Why not just put Trump in the White House again?
Well, I believe that's part of this divine thing that's going on, because people don't look. Let me tell you, people do not look for hope unless things are going bad.
Huh.
And that's why I believe this will be the greatest revival for Jesus, and we will be once again one nation under God ever, because all these people, including yourself, are going to see miracles unfold here.
Mike, are you saying even a Jewish guy like me will see Jesus?
Okay. What's that?
Even a Jewish guy like me.
You're going to see miracles. You're going to see miracles.
Miracles
unfold. You're going to see miracles unfold. You can believe whatever you want, but you're going to see things that you thought were impossible happen. And you're saying, you asked me, why would God let this happen?
Yeah.
Well, people don't look for, I'll give an example.
All right. Okay, guys. So that's going to be it. The full interview is going to be released at some point in the future, maybe even later today, but that's as far as we're going. That's only about 60% of the interview. Okay. We've got another 40% and it's wild. Okay, guys. So thank you for joining me. Mike Pillow interview later. It's all happening on the edge of our seats, waiting for the full interview. See everybody very soon.